tonight at 6 p.m. over on the main Hammers Chat channel. This man is interviewing Fabrizio Romano. Well, he's already done the interview, and you lucky lot are going to get a little sneak peek of it now, because he has, let's say, rubber stamped and confirmed something that some of us suspected was true, some of us hoped was true, but some of us thought was a fib. That's coming up at 6 o'clock tonight, Gio. Quite a scoop, my friend.
Yeah, it was good to chat to him. A bit like the transfer guru, if you like. And he's, when you do your little short list of people you wouldn't mind doing a video with, he's sort of been on my short list for obvious reasons. I'm hoping it yields good views, but also good news for West Ham and news. I think this is what I would say is a little bit different between Fabrizio and sort of say the Daily Mirror, for example, is I consider the Daily Mirror to be rumours, speculation made up, whereas I think Fabrizio is a bit more news rather than rumours.
Well, and I'll tell you what we'll do now. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to play it on 8 minutes, 59 seconds of a 9-minute video or anything like that. We're going to play you now a snippet, and I think quite a good snippet, by the way, of what Fabrizio told Gio when he recorded the video. And this is just a little bit of the whole interview, which you're going to get later on. Let's have a listen to what Fabrizio Romano said about Leeds winger Raphinha.
For Rafinha, it was serious. It was more than serious, because West Ham in the final week, it was not just on deadline day, but in the final week of January, they were really trying to sign Rafinha. They had a direct contact with Leeds, so they were pushing to make a proposal even around 35 million euros, maybe 40 with add-ons. So they were preparing their proposal, but on Leeds side, it was not even a topic. They needed Rafinha, so that's why nothing happened. And the deal collapsed. It was impossible for Leeds to sell Rafinha in January. But it's a player that West Ham wanted. Now I feel that it's going to be really, really complicated because Barcelona are leading the race. They're pushing with his agent. Deco is really close to Barcelona president Juan Laporta. So it's going to be complicated, I think, in the summer to jump in this race for West Ham. But I'm sure that they're preparing an important market.
There you go, Gio. Confirmation, if ever there was any, that we did bid for that player. Were you surprised about that at all? Or did you think, were you a naysayer, or did you think it was a bona fide bid?
No, I was a naysayer. I had doubts. I was more surprised that he said that we actually bid for him a week before deadline day. Yeah. I think that's the bit that made me think, oh, okay, because it felt like when we did bid, I believe the bid was true to some extent, but I also thought the bid was a bit pointless. I thought, why would Leeds sell him on deadline day? Why would they accept that much money when they're in a relegation battle, so on and so forth? But we did actually start the negotiations a week prior. A, it probably does give Leeds a bit of adequate time to go get a replacement, but also B, if we've then followed that through for the remaining week of the transfer window, I'd like to think there would have been some encouragement from Leeds United side to keep us interested. Otherwise, they played a bit of a blinder on us, and we've just been going down a blind alley, but we've done it with Jesse Lingard, so might as well do it with Rafinha as well, who more open up the question of not did we bid, but why did we then retain interest for a whole week? If we felt the bid was as a fan base, we felt the bid was useless to some extent.
Yeah, perhaps we did. And I mean, he certainly mentioned a dialogue. Obviously, there was, what did he say, between 35 and 40 million euros. You'd like to think that that's a negotiation, and I've got no problem with that. I think when you go too far low and then you incrementally, I'll give the example, the Tarkowski one. So we go in with 27 million. They say we want 40. We then go in with 28 million. That's not a negotiation. That's stupid. But I don't have a problem with going in at a price and then trying to meet somewhere in the middle. And if they went in a week before, it just goes to show that we weren't leaving it until transfer deadline day at all. We were trying to get some deals done. I think what I took from that, because without giving away too much, there's somebody else, Fabrizio, in the interview that you do. Fabrizio confirms that we also bid for somebody else, which will be revealed later on 6 o'clock tonight over on the main channel. Don't miss it. With that in mind, as a West Ham fan, I'm quite buoyed by that. So out of bad news comes good news, because I'm thinking, well, hold on a second. We were bidding for 2 players there, which even at the most conservative of estimates, and even going in euros, we were probably bidding 85 Raphinha being one of these players, 85 million euros for two separate players in the same window, which makes me feel a little bit more optimistic about the budget.
But do you believe that we would have signed both players, or do you think we lodged two bids and hoping that we would sign one of them? Do you know what I mean? I know you're saying it comes to 85 million, but if I accept that and say, right, fine, yes, that's true, but it doesn't necessarily mean we would have spent 85 million. It could mean that we were bidding for two, and we're just like, if we can get one, happy days.
Well, I like to think so, because they're different, and without giving away too much, they're different positions, and. So yes, that makes me think that there was money there. Look, there are going to be people that say, "Hold on, this is just so as we can put it out there and say we tried." But without being funny, if all you want to do as a club is to spin that we tried, you don't have to go through a week's worth of negotiations. You just put a lowball bid in, leak it to the press, and you do that. You don't continue to go back. And we know we did that. On at least a couple of deals, we went back, and I certainly know that there was a deal where we were really trying to knuckle down in the summer and get done. And of course, we knew that all through the window, right up until transfer deadline day, we were going after Lingard. So I think you've got to separate intention from competency. Are we competent enough to get a deal done? Well, that's a separate argument. But I think firstly, it shows the intention was there, so I don't particularly doubt that anymore. What the indicator is that there's money there, and I think that's what I'm sort of most pleased about out of everything. Really, the competence thing has still got to be addressed, because we still didn't get a player over the line.
Yeah, but even if the intention was there, again, let's accept that for a moment. It doesn't mean it's realistic. You know, I may have an intention to date Laura Woods. It's not realistic. It's never going to happen. But it doesn't mean my intention isn't there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like the Raphinha, we were never going to get him, whether it was a week's dialogue or not. And I think the fact that it was a week's dialogue is the most surprising thing, because that would suggest Leeds didn't say F off on day one. There was some sort of go between the clubs. But Rafinha was never realistic for West Ham, not in the circumstances that Leeds found themselves in, and certainly not for the amount that Fabrizio was discussing. We thought 50 million British pounds was too cheap. He's talking less in euros as well, which makes it even lesser in British pounds. That's almost insulting to Leeds. So I don't think it's all very well bidding for players and having the correct intentions, but if the targets and the bids aren't realistic, it's never going to go anywhere. It's almost pointless, these bids. I think to some extent, I have a bit of a saying in the last couple of months. I've kept saying now and again, you can't make a bad signing if you don't make any signings in relation to David Moyes' success in purchasing players at West Ham. When people say he's got a really good track record, well, only because he doesn't sign players. If you don't sign players, you can't make a bad signing. And it's a bit like that in January. It just felt a little bit like that. Sometimes making no bid is better than making a stupid bid. And I think we made some stupid ones in January. The club don't look bad making no bids. They just look tight, unambitious. But when they start making low ball offers, they just look daft and almost insulting to other clubs. You know, we saw the repercussion of this bid for Rafinha on social media not long after Rafinha went away with Brazil. Actually, he was with Brazil coming up to deadline day. It was the international break at the end of January transfer window, wasn't it? And he played well for Brazil. I think he might have scored. And Calvin Phillips commented on his post saying 50 million, they said, with laughing emojis. That shows what Calvin Phillips and Rafinha thought of this so-called bid from West Ham. The subjects of the bid were laughing at it. That's not good. I'd rather there was no bid than a bid that was being laughed at by the players that we were bidding for.
Yeah, I'm sort of half agree. I can't really have players' reactions dictating how much we bid for players. If that's particularly if you're given what you said that in the summer, if they're relegated, he's available for 25 million. I don't blame them chancing their arm at a first bid at 40 if they're prepared to go above and get towards more realistically what he's probably worth. I think, which we'd all agree is more than 40 million. What I don't like is that it's that or bust. Where's the other ones? Where's the other options? Maybe we bid and we just didn't hear about it. I think that's my point. It is unrealistic. in that window to go for Raphinha. And as I said on this very channel a couple of days ago, I want us to have ambitious targets. I don't want us to just think, okay, well, we're not going to get him, so we'll go and get whatever Lewis Potter from Hull City, because that's where we are. No, I think we should be able to. West Ham at the moment, a calibre that we should be able to sign international players and sign players from Leeds United. That's fine. Go for it. Be ambitious. The realism is not because he plays for Brazil or because he plays for Leeds. The realism is in relegation scrap. They're unlikely to sign him because for those exact reasons. What I want at that point is to say, okay, well, that's fine. We've got 5 other targets. Let's go and get one of them. And they can all be equally as ambitious. I think that's possibly where they say a fool and his money are easily parted, but we don't seem to be particularly easily parted from our money at the moment, do we? So it's something we've got to get better at, the transfers. But I was pleased to hear that we'd certainly got some money to spend, even if it is that. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully we've learned our lesson. And well, let's be fair, Rob Newman's in there to do something, isn't he? So let's hopefully he can pull something out of the bag in the summer window. Anyway, thank you, Gio. Thank you very much for that. That is up at 6 o'clock this evening. Set your timers, set your reminders, get your dinner eaten at 5:30.
Your Alexa. We've just
Laura Wood, by the way.
What?
Who's Laura Wood?
She's on Sky Sports. Talk Sport.
Oh, Sky. Is she nicer than Natalie Sawyer?
You Google her. While you're Googling her, I'll tell the story. We just recently got an Alexa and a Ring doorbell, and it's now the timer, but it doesn't respond to me. When I say things to it, it just doesn't listen. It just beeps at me like bloop, as if I didn't quite understand what you said there, sir. I cannot use the new timer. It's on Alexa. Say, Alexa, set a timer for 6 minutes. My thing goes bloop. By the time I've set the timer, it's taken me a minute to do it. I now need it at 5 minutes, not 6 minutes, because it's taken me a minute to communicate with the daft thing in the kitchen. So, set your Alexa for 6 p.m. this evening, because I've got it's a 12-minute conversation I have with Fabrizio. Just quick answers. You gave quick answers, one minute answers about transfer targets from January, upcoming in the summer, so on and so forth. Have you finished your Googling?
Mm-hmm. I think she's my favourite TalkSport presenter, Gio.
Yeah, I thought she would be.
She's a serious upgrade on Adrian Durham, quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, thank goodness. Now you know. TalkSport, they're on YouTube a lot more recently. I wonder why.
Yeah, get her in the thumbnail.
Absolutely. There you go. But Adrian Durham, he's got a great face for radio, as I say, unlike us two handsome chaps. Anyway, you can link up with that handsome chap and the other Italian handsome chap later, 6 o'clock this evening. Don't be late.